has its limitations. It is going to provide some measure of the average experience for a patient with the disease and the potential effects of treatment on that disease, but we recognize that most diseases are quite heterogeneous and patients will have very different experiences. It is a summary measure and won't necessarily take into account all aspects of value that a patient may consider important. So it's a relatively rough measure, but it is an approach to, as you say, estimate the effect of disease and treatment on length of life and quality of life while alive. And so it's an important way to think about how the benefits of two different treatments might compare. And so there are critics out there who say that the QALY discriminates on its face against those with severe disease or disabilities by valuing their lives at a lower level. But really, its use in practice is to compare the effects of two different treatments. And so if you have a treatment that improves quality of life and extends length of life, that difference will be apparent in a QALY-based measure and is really an important way to think about those benefits. Now, another thing that we often say while we're supporting the QALY is that the QALY and cost effectiveness analysis is an input into decision-making, but it's only one. There are other important aspects of new treatments that should be considered. Is this the first new treatment that's become available for a very severe disease in a very long time, for example? Is there a significant burden of disease? So if we're paying a lot of money, for example, for new treatments for hepatitis C, given the public health impact of that spending, that might be worth it on its face, regardless of what the cost effectiveness analysis says. So there are always other considerations that should be part of the conversation. It should not be the sole input into that conversation. But we think it's an important one because it allows you to both compare two treatments to each other and also to understand all of the health resources you're spending money on, how the benefits achieved with those resources compare, because you're using a single summary measure that can be compared across diseases.